I'm David from Levika Photography, and today we'll be talking about microphones again for the Sony a6000. What you're hearing right now is the on-camera microphone, and as you can see in the mirror, there's no microphone on it. So the first thing I'm going to do is put on the microphone that we tested last time. And this has an extremely long name, the ECM XYST1M stereo microphone for the new Sony multi-hot shoe port thingy. So anyway, let's go ahead and plug this in, that way you don't have to hear the camera microphone anymore. Alright, so we've got that plugged in. And so this is kind of your option for an on-camera boom mic. And as we addressed before in the last video, you know, this one does do stereo. The microphone's spread apart. It's actually kind of handy that way. It comes with a decent windsock that doesn't seem to distort the audio, but does seem to do a good job with the wind. But the biggest problem with it, you have no onboard audio control. It's either on or it's off. There's nothing in between. So, you know, with that being said, I was hoping that I picked up this wireless system from Sony, and this is the ECM W1M. And it's a Bluetooth setup, and it has volume control on both the head unit and the microphone unit. And it also does 5.1 channel stereo or mono or single, and this part doesn't require a battery. This part does require AAA, and then it comes with a headphone sock that you slide over, and it actually has a hole for the headset port. And then it comes with two headsets, one for the receiver and one for the microphone. And so this is kind of, you know, the new Sony multi-hot shoe lavalier mic. You know, this is your best option for that if you want to utilize that hot shoe. Now on the full frame sensor cameras, the A7, the A7S, the A7R, the A7 II that's coming out, they all have separate microphone ports that are standard mini jacks. So you can put whatever you want into those ports. But aside from the A7S and the A7, you know, the beauty of this camera, the Sony a6000, the reason why videographers love it is, A, you know, you get to use a wider range of lenses because it's APS-C size, but B, it has that hybrid autofocus tracking system that actually just does an amazing job with Sony and Sigma lenses. So, you know, videography-wise, the a6000 is really a great option, but audio-wise, it's either on or off. Now, one of the biggest differences, and I always like to go back to the Nikon D7100 because that was the camera that I went from to this, actually two D7100s and an 800, and now I have two a6000s and an A7R. So I switched systems over because of, you know, the portability, the compactness, and on top of that, just the way that the Sony RAW files seem to have slightly more contrast in them. That's either here nor there. As far as, you know, how they take pictures, they're almost all identical, but this one shoots way faster. It's way lighter. It's way simpler, and this is the smallest, most functional camera that you can possibly get on the market. It's just limiting in some areas. You know, it's like when they thought of this camera, they couldn't think of everything, you know, but they got it like 90% right. So anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and switch over to this microphone. Alright, and that way you can actually hear it. I have to stop the video to make sure it switches over correctly. Okay, so we switched over to the wireless mic. The biggest problem with this is you can hear the microphone if you touch it, so you have to be very careful. You can handhold it, just don't rub it. The other thing I noticed is you know, if you use the earpiece that came with it on the microphone, you don't actually hear yourself talking in there. The earpiece does work on the receiver on the camera. So, you know, whoever is running the camera could actually hear you, but you can't actually hear yourself. But with the full frame cameras, the A7S, the A7R, the A7, and the A7 II that's coming out, they all have external microphone ports so you can plug in whatever you want. You're not limited to this. But anyway, really quick. So that covers that. It does come with a suppression sock, and this seems to work pretty well, even though I haven't run around in high wind with it yet. But the microphone in a light breeze has no effect, so you don't really need this unless you're in like maybe winds of 8 miles an hour or more. But let's go ahead and check out the range really quick, and then I'll address a couple other issues. But the range on this is actually very good. So I'm going to go outside here, and what I'm going to do, now I'm outside, and I'm going down a path, and at the path, okay, I am now 60 yards away. You can obviously hear me loud and clear. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this kind of brick cover, and this will probably cause some distortion because of the concrete and the brick. Okay, so I'm walking through. I'm not sure if you hear me, but I make it the other side. Now I'm to the other side of this brick cover, and I am 100 yards away, and hopefully you can hear me loud and clear. This seems to be about the full extent of the range, so I'm going to go ahead and head back. Going through the carport, so probably more distortion again. Okay, now I'm back at 60 yards, and you can hear me loud and clear. I'm walking up, and this does seem to do well indoors too. Like if you're in another room talking, it'll pick up just fine. Now I'm walking back in the studio, and here I am, but whatever. Anyway, so you know, the range-wise, it seems to be great. You know, you don't really need to record anybody from 100 yards away if you're using it like this. You know, but this currently is really your only option for a lavalier system with this camera. So the other issues are, it comes with switches, and it's 5.1 channel stereo, mono, single, and off. Okay, so with that, you can switch it to one of the others, and now if I get too close, this is on single, you'll probably get some distortion. Probably really easy to do. You probably hear some echo. It doesn't actually record on 5.1 channel. Now I'm sure you're hearing echo because I'm too close. Let me put it back on single and step away a little bit. Now this should actually sound just fine. Okay, so there you go. This is the wireless microphone test. I hope you guys liked it. If you have any questions or comments, you know, please send them to me. Feel free to like my videos. Click on the advertisements because I'm not sure how that works yet. But anyway, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you on the next review.